Well, good to see you guys. We're going to go through a lot of information tonight. I'm so glad that men came tonight because although a lot of the examples I give do describe some issues that women go through, the scenarios that we're going to be talking about and the things that people need to do to support their bodies for hormonal balance apply to men and women. So please remember that, or for men in your life, it's really important. Everything we're going to be talking about applies to both sexes. So the goal of this class, my goal isn't just to treat any particular system or any symptom that someone's having, because I know that so many people have things like hot flashes, or they might have bad menstrual cramps, or whatever it may be. There's lots of different things, but what we are going to be talking about tonight is how to really support the body so that things are getting better and functioning better over time. That's what that's what this class is all about. And remember that this is a process, just like everything else. Your hormones are a messenger system in your body. So you have organs in your body, like your uterus, your ovaries, testes for men, that are waiting for those messages. And so it's a very complex network. When you think about hormones, they're in very potent concentrations, and when they're working well, things are amazing in terms of what your body is capable of. But when you're under stress, or you're not eating the right things, or you're overworked, there's a lot going on in your life, it's really common for that very complicated network and that very fine balance to become completely out of whack, to the point where I'll often see people and make some dietary changes that make a big difference, but they might have seen 5 endocrinologists and have been put on multiple medications or hormone replacement therapies or all kinds of things. And so just really, when you look at this, I know that it can be very complex, but we're going to start from the beginning. So the endocrine system, your hormonal balance, that hormonal system, is really one of the first systems in the body that's going to be affected by stress and by eating the wrong foods after the nervous system. So the nervous system is always your most sensitive system within your body. It has to absorb everything and anything that's happening around you. But the endocrine system right after that is going to be your next most easily influenced system by poor lifestyle choices. And so when you think about the body, everything is interdependent. That's why my goal is that before anyone is going to have an organ removed, something cut out of their body, we really want to do everything we can to support their body as much as possible before that's kind of like our end result if nothing else works, but we want that to be the last thing that would happen for someone. So your endocrine system, just so you're familiar with the different organs I'm going to be talking about, it's going to consist of your hypothalamus, part of your brain. That's really one of the keys in terms of your overall system. So many people that have issues going on within their thyroid or lower parts of the system, often those issues are really starting up in the brain. So we're not going to go into that as much. There's not as much that we can do nutritionally to support that, but just know that something with the adjustments, the network spinal analysis adjustments, and getting the brain and nervous system to function at a higher level, that's a really important part of this system. The pineal gland, the pituitary, the thyroid, the parathyroid, the adrenal glands, your pancreas, ovaries for women, testes for men. That's going to be the majority of your endocrine system. So I'm going to briefly describe some of those organs, the ones that are going to apply most to what we're going to be talking about in the future. But your hypothalamus is like the commander-in-chief. That's what sends out the messages to everything else so that the rest of the system works appropriately. The hypothalamus actually connects your physical and your emotional parts, meaning it can actually create emotions so that you're reflecting on your favorite memory. That's part of what the hypothalamus can do. But it also controls autonomic reflexes, like the smooth muscle activity within your heart and other organs within your body. That's also part of the hypothalamus and what it really controls. But it also houses your body's thermostat as well as its biological clock. So there's a lot happening just in that single organ that sits inside of our brain. But that part of your body actually controls your sleep and wake cycles, so it plays a huge role in terms of your body's ability to relax and get a good night's sleep. But the pineal gland is also what produces hormones when light hits the back of your retina. So there's a whole feedback system with that. We're going to talk about that. Light is such an important part of your hormonal system. And so I'm going to give you an example of that in just a minute.